Cheers.
Thanks for joining. Cheers.
Yay. Yeah. Cheers.
Happy Donut Day to all of you.
Yum. I was just asking Stephanie, what kind of donuts do you like? Are you a cake donut or a softy donut?
Hi. What are you guys?
Cake or
Cheers.
soft?
Cake donuts, soft donuts, filled, donuts with filled. Anybody like jelly donuts? Does anyone actually like jelly donuts?
Jelly donuts.
Yeah.
No.
I'm not a jelly donut fan either.
My mom is.
Really?
Yeah.
Welcome back.
It might be an East Coast thing. I had to wipe my hands. Soft for sure. Definitely not jelly. Yeah.
Gross, right? Just gross. That's like putting broccoli in a
donut. Maple bars.
And Bavarian cream.
Oh,
yes.
okay. I'll do cream inside of a donut. Mm-hmm. But if all that's left, as I cough, is a jelly donut, it just sits there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what's going on this week?
Well, let's see. A lot of stuff in the interweb this week. So we're going to talk today about all the stuff that you guys missed or actually saw and are talking about on the internet. And there was a post this week, if you guys didn't see it, about being competitive. And I suffer from over-competitiveness to the point where I don't have friends that will come over and play games with me anymore. Truthfully, they refuse to come and play games with me, which is, I feel like Rudolph.
Well, this Ask Jennifer is AskJennifer.com has this great article about my child is too competitive, or is your child too competitive? And we have another friend who will hang out with us sometimes, and we drink wine together and talk and whatever. And she is also very competitive. So sometimes I just kind of sit there.
Are we not naming her name?
Oh, we can name Mary. We could totally call out Mary.
She and I together. Yeah, no, she and I together are a problem.
Yeah, I just kind of sit there and smile, wait for it. And then they always come together at the end and hug it out and drink wine. It's the funniest thing. The wine helps.
But it is a really good article, which I'll pull up because I'd like to read you guys a little bit of it. I think competitiveness for kids is actually a really good thing. And I think in some ways we're kind of teaching our kids out of competitiveness with the trophies for everything and just thanks for showing up.
But do you think there's too much of competitiveness?
I suppose you could argue both sides for certain. For sure, there are kids that can be too competitive.
Yeah.
Are you guys competitive? You're not talking right now. I'm curious. Are you a competitive person or are your kids competitive?
Yeah, are your kids competitive? Do you let them be competitive? I think it's good. I think it's good too. I mean, my daughter's in competitive dance. Yes. She fully knows, when they give out, she's only 8, but when they give out the awards and stuff, it's really funny. It's because her and then Mary's daughter, they'll sit there and say they get a platinum, but they didn't get the double platinum. All the other girls get really excited. Not at all, but we encourage our children to learn to lose. Yes! See, this is the thing. Important. So they get upset because they know they didn't get first place, but yet the other kids in their group are just screaming because they got a trophy. They could care less. National level soccer at 6.5. Yeah, so my daughter's, 8. She's been competitive since 6.
So you're saying your child is in national competitive soccer is what you're saying? I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
Yes, their daughter, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of that these days, and I'm guilty of it too. My kids have done the competitive soccer thing at a very early age. I have 3. Mm-hmm. My youngest one does not do that. Actually, I don't think it made my kids better athletes, and it was a lot of money.
Yeah. No, she played for 6.5 years.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that the trick, you got to find a balance, and I think the trick is learning to lose gracefully.
Yeah, I think that's important, and I think that's kind of something that's missing. I remember, and my son just had to do this. My 9-year-old son just had to do this. Where they found out if they made something it was going to be put on the board outside of the classroom.
Right.
That's how I found out everything in school. If you made it or you didn't make it, you stood amongst the people that did and didn't, and you learned how to handle that. You learned to be sad, but also be gracious for the people that did make it, or you learned to be thrilled and be gracious for the people who didn't. Did I say that the right way? So anyway, I think competitiveness is a good thing. I think there is such a thing as over competitive.
There is for sure an over competitive. You need to learn both ways.
My oldest son is probably a little over.
Over? Really?
Yeah, he's a little in your face when he wins.
Oh, yeah. See, that's the thing is you can't be a winner and then like shove it in everybody's face that you're the winner.
No.
We parents can't.
More competitive.
Oh,
That is
for
the
sure.
gospel.
For sure.
100%. We have a post on Mom Smack called
Yes.
10 Things Parents of Athletes Need to Know, and it has had millions of hits. And it's all about parents on the sideline and the way they behave
Yep.
and their competitive nature and their need to live vicariously through the athletes that are on that field or court. And it's gotten all those hits because people feel that pain. I mean, that is something
yeah.
we're all fully aware of.
The show Dance Moms that you watch, dance competition is a lot like that show. Not the teacher. Ignore the teacher. Throw the teacher out. Teachers are normally amazing and lovely. Hardcore, crazy, dumb. I was a man. Yes.
Yep.
So, but the parents on this show that go at each other, parents are like that. That's
Yeah.
true story. That's how it is.
I've actually witnessed a
Smile.
coach saw a cast off a kid's arm because they weren't allowed to be on the baseball field with the cast on, and he didn't want them not to be able to play. So he sawed. It was his own child, but he sawed the cast off the kid's arm so he could play.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so
Okay.
speaking of parents, moving on. By the way, that article that's really a good read is
Dance Mom is banned in our home. Oh, it's. I watch it when all the kids are napping and it's only just me. I'm addicted. It's bad.
bonbonbreak.com has that article, and it's got kind of some nice bullet points at the end as to how to handle competitiveness in your family. It's awesome.
Yes.
Okay, so our next story is from freerangekids.com, and it is about a mom who allowed her 11, 9, and 5-year-old to play in the park feet from her house, like across the street from her house. So they're out playing in that park, and she now is a registered
Child abuser.
because somebody turned her in. Sorry, I'm having the champagne bubbles. Someone turned her in, and she was convicted of child abuse because her 11, 9, and 5-year-old children were playing in the park across the street where she could see them from her house.
And she watched them as they played there. This is really bad for me because I literally have a park right across the street from my house, and I'm in a cul-de-sac, and my kids are my 8 and sometimes 2-year-old, almost 3-year-old, are across the street playing while I'm sitting on my patio or finishing up dishes. And there are other kids over there as well, but I'm not with them.
This is how we grew up. We all grew up playing in the streets. I was gone for hours.
In the woods.
We had cornfields where I grew up. We played in the cornfields. We were gone. I mean, we came home when the light flickered or when we knew it was dinner time, because if we weren't home to eat, you didn't get the food.
You didn't get the food.
But this whole new, I get that bad things happen. Bad things happened when we were kids. We just didn't have 24-hour news. We didn't hear about all the bad things that happen. I think it's repulsive that she's a child abuser, if you will. Not really, but they label, because her kids are playing in the park. I think
do
it's
too.
crazy. I understand a mile away. I am not the most free-range parent. Teresa's far more free-range than I am. I'm not a helicopter parent, but I'm definitely a parent who knows where my kids are. However, across the street at a park where I can see them is perfectly fine.
Agreed. Yes. My kids don't walk to school or do any of that. But when it comes to them playing out front of my house, absolutely. They're out there playing with the neighbors and having a good time. And it's tough. But
Okay.
this brings up a thing in my mind is we're going to have to do a post on the different parenting styles and what they are. So, okay. So, what about female Viagra? For or against female Viagra?
Why would you be against it?
The FDA has approved it. I don't know.
Who's against it? Let's see if I can pronounce it, first of all.
This is the name of the drug.
Okay, ready? Flibanserin? Anybody?
Who needs
Who
it?
needs that?
Old ladies.
Not old. What old ladies? There's a lot of women who don't have sex drive in their 30s and 40s.
Oh, really?
My God, she's like, she lives in...
Wow.
I don't need it, but if I needed it, if I wasn't feeling amorous, and
Right.
it wasn't because I wasn't attracted to my husband, but because I happen to like,
I think, you know what, look, when you have 3 young kids, it's not the thing that's in your head a lot. That's not what you're thinking about at the end of the day.
I think the whole taking the female Viagra flibanserin,
yeah,
flibanserin, is not about, it's not like with men where it's just a one pop pill thing. It's a build up in your system thing, and it reprograms you to actually want it. Clearly created by a man.
Right? You have to take it every day.
Would you guys take it if you had lost your amorous feeling? If you lost that love and feeling. Okay, tell us if you take it. The first person to comment is going to get a little piece of junk from the poppycock basket.
Who wants some junk?
Who wants some junk? No one wants junk. There we go.
There we go.
Not if it's not proven.
Oh, that's what they're
Who
doing.
is that?
49er girl. Send us an email. You
DM us and you get some straws. Oh, I don't think I
Didn't she get straws? What did you get last week?
Straws last week that I get to send you? Straws. Okay. So I would totally take it if I needed it. I don't need it, but if I get to the point where I do because hot flashes or whatever takes over, I am totally taking flibanserin.
Yes. So what it's supposed to do is, it's just so everybody knows, it's supposed to affect certain chemicals in your brain to make you desire it. There you go. All right, next.
Desire it.
Desire it.
The word we're not saying. Desire sex. That's what it's doing.
Did I not say sex?
I don't
desire
think
sex.
Sex. Okay. Let's talk about Jon Stewart's video.
Oh dear God, I love Jon Stewart.
Have you guys seen Jon Stewart's video about Caitlyn Jenner and welcoming her to being a woman? If you haven't seen it, do yourselves a favor and go see it. It is spectacular, and I would say in the video, I actually went, oh my gosh, women allow, we don't even realize we're being treated a certain way.
No.
And then in this video, you're like, oh my gosh, of course that's not acceptable to be treated like that.
Right. So he went on, and you know, the whole point was a couple years ago, when he was Bruce Jenner, he was treated differently. He was asked about his businesses, his sports accomplishments, all of these things. You know, you're trying to make money, good for you, type thing. And then now that you're Caitlyn Jenner, you're 65. You've only got 2 more years before you're.
All they talk about now is the way he looks. Terrible putting on there.
And that
the way she looks.
You're trying to make money. You're whoring yourself out.
Excellent video.
Yeah, it was really good. You need to go see it. I think the money thing was really clicked with me.
It did?
Yeah.
I didn't. I took the other thing, the visual part.
Well, the visual part, yeah, but I think the thing that, you know, when you're a guy and you're trying to sell yourself or whatever, you're trying to make money, you're a good business person.
I see what
but
you're
if you're a woman trying to do it, you're whoring yourself out. That really, got to me.
Which actually made me think about, I put a tweet out last night. I was on people.com. I'm not proud, but I do I do go there to look at stories that we might want to discuss with you guys. And I rolled upon this the fashion thing they do, which is which person wore it best kind of thing. I think that's maybe not, theirs is called, I don't remember.
Who wore it better?
Who wore it, I don't know. I think Us Magazine does the exact same thing. And I hate that segment. It's appalling to me. And I tweeted out to people and said, can you please just consider respectfully suggesting you might take that down? Because in choosing one, you're tearing down the other, right? So my hashtags were lean in, women support women. I just don't like this idea that you're going to say, hey, put them side by side and say who looks better in it, who's prettier, who's better, who's whatever. I hate that. I hate it.
Does that go back to the competitive thing?
I know, I was about to just say, I just brought it back to the competitive thing. But you know, that's different. Like, if you're putting yourself in a position to try out for something, that's different. Or if you choose to play the game, that's different. But for somebody to put you and I side by side and say who's prettier or who looks better in that outfit, I think it's mean-spirited and hateful, and I think they should remove it. I really do. Because, and Jon Stewart says this in the video, which is what tied it in for me, they're giving her compliments, Caitlyn Jenner, and they're comparing her to, like, is Kim Kardashian's body better than hers? And they're doing the comparisons, and he's like, okay, women, so we want to give you a compliment, but we have to give you a compliment, and we have to tear somebody down to keep the balance. And it's so true. Like, why do we have to be, I don't know, it just bugs me.
Right. No, I agree. I'm mad at myself because as you see, you're talking about it, I think I probably do that.
What?
Tear somebody down to build somebody back up sometimes.
Well, we all do that daily for ourselves. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
I try hard to not.
I know, it's tough.
It is tough.
All right, so what else do we have?
Courage and bravery was a lot of conversation this week, whether or not Caitlyn Jenner deserved the Arthur Ashe Award for coming out, whether that is brave, courageous. I personally think it's super brave and unbelievably courageous.
Right.
I think that it potentially will help save a lot of suicides from happening, and I think it provides hope for all of us.
Right.
All of us. But what was I talking about? Oh, so courage and bravery it was a big conversation this week. There's a really great post on sheislola.com, SHEISLOLA, sheislola.com. And it's by Laura Crawford, and she's talking about bravery and what courage and bravery looks like in all different facets of life. And it's really cool. It's about the kindergarten student who goes to school and how brave you have to be to do that. And then it's about the man who lost his legs serving our country. It's about Caitlyn Jenner and what that courage looks like. And there's a great kids book, and it's called Courage Is, and it's almost like no words in it, but I used to read it to Colton too. It's just courage and bravery look very different, and who are we to judge? I think it's brave what Caitlyn Jenner did.
I do too.
And I know we said we wouldn't discuss.
I know. I think that courage, bravery, heroism, it's all up to the individual and what you think. I think that my 2-year-old jumping into the pool with his swim coach without his life vest is very brave of him. I think that my daughter dancing today at her talent show is very brave of her.
I think us reading the comments after we post a video is often very brave.
Often very brave. We get some great comments.
Yeah.
But, you know.
There's all sorts of bravery. And we need all different. Here's the thing that really was frustrating for us this week. We've talked about it a lot, so I'm putting words in your mouth. One doesn't negate the other, and you can have both at the same time. Caitlyn Jenner can be brave, and so can the people that serve our country. And we talk about both. And one can take over the media for a little bit, and then we can go back and talk about the others. This idea that we have to compare and one has to be, it's the competitive nature again. It's the women against women. I don't know. We don't have to compare bravery stories. Everyone can be brave. There's enough courage, bravery, comments, and love to go around. Everyone and everything can be courageous and brave at the same time. And it's not a competition. Some things are, that is not.
This is true.
All right, and so we'll finish up like we're going to be finishing up every time and just kind of go over a few things that we had on Mom Smack this week. Teresa did her Thirsty Thursday. And it is a strawberry mint margarita. Go watch the video on our Facebook page right now. It is so good. Delicious. So easy. And if you have a drink you want me to make, just let us know. Mm-hmm. And then there is on our Facebook page, Mom Smack, there is 8 things never to say to a pregnant woman. You should definitely take a look at that so you don't make that mistake. And then finally, I wrote a post about letting my older 2 boys head off into the world without me, as they both are in college as of this fall. And it's a post called They Said, and it's about all the cliches I was told as a mom over the years. Thank you for whoever's hurting us. Thank you so much. And thanks for joining us, guys. Come back next Friday for our Mom Scope Fridays, and we'll see you then.
Bye, guys.